Hello everyone, welcome to this very special event in the Warm and Contra FEM FEST 2021. It's already the 5th night in this festival, but for me it's quite a special night, I have to say, because it's a project by Resistor. And Resistor is a community based around the Warm electronic music studio. And the people that gather there are actually kind of new to the material, and the idea is also to create more diversity and more inclusivity in the group of people that are actually introduced to this electronic music and how the synthesizers work. And I must say, it's been going for a few years now. It's been very inspiring and rewarding. So far, Worm is embracing the project very strongly, supporting it. And tonight, 8 members of Resistor are going to perform in this live streamed concert. So I hope you're all going to enjoy it. The 8 people that are playing tonight have immersed in a very intensive week-long workshop where they were introduced to the practices of free improvisation in music. And it was led by Vanita and Johanna Monk. Johanna is sitting next to me, and I'd like to welcome you too to the stream.
Thank you very much, and thank you also for inviting us to have this opportunity to share with this group of people the experience that we've had and developed, and to be with this wonderful group of people now that we can make this music.
That's right. I was curious what method did you follow in setting up the workshop with the Resistor members?
Yes, there's method in the madness for sure. There's very different ways to approach this, of course, because improvisation is a huge topic, and you said we worked for a week, and it was a week, but unfortunately because of COVID we could only be physically together for 2 evenings. So that limited a bit what we could do in terms of, limited is the wrong word, but it did focus the scope of the workshop into some very specific aspects, and the aspects that Vanita and I, who developed the workshop together, I'll say more about Vanita in a moment, because she's not here tonight. So the focus that we decided for this workshop would be on the aspect of space, in the sense of sonic space, how we fill up space and how we leave space open for others. That we decided that should be the focal point. There are many different ways that you can approach this topic of improvisation that we did not get into, that we could have, that would be interesting to explore. I'm already plugging now for a follow-up to this.
Sure.
We could definitely explore in a further, maybe go deeper in a weekly get together and explore this topic, because there's just so much to cover. And you were asking me earlier before we started, like, what did I learn from this? And I, first of all, never to underestimate the participants, because the group of people that came really surprised me in terms of how much of the usual pitfalls that you encounter with improvisation, that I'm just so used to repeating and preaching over and over again. I didn't have to do that. And that was actually a lot of fun, to not have to tell people to shut up and leave space to others. And I'm thinking part of that has to do on some level with the very low level of testosterone of this group generally. I think that's a factor here, but it's definitely not the only one. But just by and large, I'm just really overjoyed with the response, with the focus, with the presence, with the imagination and care that I've seen and received and enjoyed with this group. I'm drifting a bit off your question though, about the method. So we focused on some. I wouldn't use the word. I don't like the word exercises. They are compositions. They are workshop pieces that are designed to increase the awareness of all present, including the person who is guiding the workshop, to increase awareness of certain aspects that are commonly these pitfalls of not leaving space. Is a very, very big one that happily I didn't really encounter here, and so maybe if I were to do this again, knowing what I know now, possibly I would emphasize that part a little less, and I would think, okay, we don't need to hammer this thing that I've been hammering on forever since I've been involved in this music. Maybe not necessarily to hammer that point so much with this group, that we could think of other things, like, for example, we were focusing a lot on when do you play, and very little on what do you play and how do you play it. And also, I must say, I feel the need to, there were a few moments I said, okay, this is maybe going, we could maybe bring this more in a certain direction that would be more fruitful. But by and large, there was very little. I mean, I'm, again, not to overstate the case, but I'm really very, very happy with this group of people I've had the opportunity to work with.
Which actually we had no control over, other than, it was an open call to all the Resistor members.
Indeed.
And there are about, 20, 30 members these days. But what you did ask was the level of commitment.
Yes.
And people could say, in a scale of 1 to 10, if they felt it would be more like, free...
casual and easygoing, yeah.
But actually, almost all the people said, I'm quite high, I'm really very motivated. And,
yes. And that's important to see, that there was no value judgment in that. It was just to gauge. If everybody would have said, I want to keep it easy and casual, then we would have designed the workshop accordingly. And that's not what we ended up, because we had more people signing up than that we could actually handle because of COVID, unfortunately. But the choice was not made based on motivation. The choice was made solely on availability, practical availability. But fortunately, that went together with the people who turned out to be the most available, for whatever reason, also turned out to be the people that were the most highly motivated. And that said, okay, then we can also give you some assignments to do at home, one of which was to find, beg, borrow, steal an instrument that you don't know how to play. And everyone came with an instrument on the first day. And on the first day, one of the exercises was learn to play your instrument in 5 minutes, because they had been assigned very strictly not to touch it, other than to look at it, put it in your space, in your house, and look at it. But don't try to imagine what it sounds like, and definitely don't play it. So on the first day, one of the assignments was, okay, now you can finally make sound with your instrument, and you have 5 minutes to learn how to play it. And after that, we're gonna. Yeah. And some of them have since then incorporated that instrument. I'm thinking specifically of Suzana, and I'm sure there are more, but specifically Suzana has found a new lover in the Vietnamese one-string zither. Dem bao. It's called, yeah, and it's wonderful. I was going to say something more about Vanita, who also could not join us for the physical workshop because of COVID. And when you asked us to do this workshop, we really did some soul searching, because we don't interact with people very much. Been very, very much in lockdown for a year, and we asked ourselves, is this important enough to take that calculated risk? And we decided, yes, it was. Yeah, I totally understand. But in the whole process, Vanita and you were like 2 hands on one belly, as they say in Dutch. Don't know the right translation in English, but you, in fact, in spirit, it was you both who. The content is content that we have developed over the past 30 years that we've been together, and the whole approach, the whole idea, the whole experience, the whole musical baggage, and the whole musical journey that we've shared. We've grown in this music together, and so all of the ideas. Also, one of the compositions that we will be playing tonight is a composition by Vanita. That's a nice segue to the maybe. To preempt your question, what is the or maybe you'd like to ask the question before I
I'll
answer
ask
it. I'm getting ahead. Sorry.
No, I just wanted to say that because just as you said, you and Vanita have had such a long experience in improvised music, and I've known you for so long, is also the reason why I asked you to do this,
Yes.
to lead this workshop, because I knew it was in good hands. So.
Thank you for the confidence.
And yes, so that has to be said. We are going to have 2 sets, which will be each about half an hour.
Yeah.
There will be a 15 minutes break in between, and yeah, I think in the second half we'll also introduce the players a bit more to you. But I think for now we've had enough talk. And unless you still want to say a bit about the first.
Yeah, I would like to say a bit about what the viewers and listeners at home are going to be hearing. What is it we're actually going to be doing here? There's a lot of free improvisation in the sense that everything that everyone plays is freely improvised. However, we have chosen as a group to improvise within structures, and these structures could be called compositions. And that's a very broad definition of the term. So not to get too much into music theory, but there's like the Mozart kind of composition where every note is written down. There's like the John Cage type of composition where there's indeterminacy and randomness, deliberate randomness. John Cage hated improvisation, by the way.
And by the way, Mozart put a lot of improvisation in his compositions.
Mozart was
I heard.
actually in the days of Bach and Mozart and Beethoven, I think until about the at least the mid 19th century, and probably later, that all these famous composers were also in their day often better known as improvisers in many cases than as composers, and the ability to improvise was taken like a given, that these people were often also. There was also a lot more improvisation in classical music than there is nowadays, where there is like basically none. I like the thing where Derek Bailey, where he says the only improvisation you're going to hear now in a classical orchestra is when they're tuning up the instruments at the beginning. That's the closest that a classical orchestra nowadays comes to free improvisation. Yeah. So we are doing compositions, workshop pieces is how they're usually referred to. 3 of these, so I'll just go quickly through the program. First, we're going to do a vocal piece, which is something that I just came up with at the last moment. And the words you're going to be hearing are words that the workshop members, keywords that were provided by the workshop members on the very first Zoom meeting we had, when we asked, Vanita and I asked them, what is improvisation? So these are keywords that came out of that brainstorming session. Yeah. We're going to make a piece of music with these words now. That's the first piece. After that, we have a suite of 3 pieces, 3 workshop pieces that were all composed, written, conceived by John Stevens, the late John Stevens, who was one of the foundational figures of British free improvisation in the 60s. After that, we do a piece by Vanita, which is when you see the lights going on and off, then you know that's Vanita's piece. It's a piece that is, I won't describe the pieces too much because we could go into a lot of detail. And after that piece, there's another workshop piece which was composed by me, and that is the first part of the program. I'll very briefly, in the second part of the program, we're going to be doing some more workshop pieces that were composed by Eddie Privot and by Pauline Oliveros. Oh, wow. And at the end there will be some entirely free improvisation without any cues, any guidelines, any rules, other than that everything that we have developed together remains part of us, and that we don't descend back into the pitfalls. But I'm very confident that with this group there's no danger that will happen.
Well, wonderful. I'm looking forward to it, and have fun, all of you. Give me a little time to move out of this scene so that I won't disturb anything. And
yes,
then
and you were gonna.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And take it away. Thank you for everything.
Thank you very much, Mariette. Small struggle with my timer here.
Possibility.
One moment. One moment.
Acceptance. Non-judgment. Embrace it.
Acceptance?
Non-judgment.
Possibility.
Freedom. Structure. Respond. Environment. Flow. Flow.
Flow.
Silence. Structure. Composition.
Intimacy.
Listening.
Interaction.
Intuition.
Perception.
Flow.
Environment.
Non-judging.
Life.
Embracing.
Daily life.
Embracing.
Listening.
All
The possibility
to express.
to interact in your daily life or in your parallel life.
We talked about freedom. Remember?
Flow
Imagination into reality.
and honesty.
Authenticity.
Is that beyond media?
And responding.
Responding.
Responding to each other
A window
And to
into
oneself.
An open
and to the environment. A sense of possibility.
What does that actually mean?
I have no idea.
I'm listening. Flow.
Intimacy.
And
But that can be so yucky.
I accept.
from
I don't know
imagination
about,
into
I don't like
some
non-judging.
sort of
It sounds so
actuality.
negative. I prefer to say acceptance.
Oh yeah.
It is
Embracing.
parallel, but also
Beyond
integrated.
expectation, beyond assumption, beyond medium.
Honesty. You need to be honest with yourself and with your audience and the people you're playing with.
Listening and
You can't fake this.
speaking
Beyond
and
foreseeing.
Embracing.
And
emitting sounds
I think innocence, really. There would
I think
have to capture it in one word, I would say innocence.
I would say environment.
daily.
But there's such a sense of possibility, don't you think?
In intimacy. That
Like an inherent human
But
ability.
it's beyond every media. It's painting, it's dance.
it's
daily life.
It's even
And
everyday
it's
life.
and it's also intimate and
But it's like a little parallel life outside of everyday life.
And the parallel life.
structure and like it's about listening.
what is daily
And then
life?
how do you accept
Is this
Daily life.
What's wrong with intimacy?
Become
honestly?
Depends with who, I think.
It's dealing
I
with
agree.
fear. With all the fear inside.
I like the flow when you really get into the flow of it.
Flow?
beyond you.
And I don't know,
You start anticipating.
maybe you think,
To anticipate.
but listening,
And the interaction.
listening. That's
And
really
responding
it's
to
also
intuition.
smart.
Intuition.
And what does that even mean, intuition? Is that just like making it up as you go along, or
But
It's
there
the
is no
impression of the
freedom.
stimulative process
The
it's,
acceptance.
of future itself.
No.
I really
It's
like
so
daily life.
authentic.
Prediction.
I think daily life is so much better since COVID.
Invite with me.
Tune with
so.
me.
Sometimes I just like
I'm just trying to be honest here. Weren't we supposed to be honest?
Responding?
Honesty, that was so important.
Honest,
try.
beyond medium,
I don't
in parallel life.
Try.
Honest.
But is honesty, does that also mean you can be rude?
Freedom.
Yes,
What if
you
I-
can swear in your name.
What if I'm an asshole? Is it honest?
Freedom.
Do I need to honestly
It's
be?
authentic.
Embracing.
I'm trying to embrace.
This environment that we're in now. That's, I think somebody said something about environment, and
Interaction.
Throw away the
Structure.
composition.
Throw away
Authenticity.
structure. And then throw away freedom.
And throw it all away.
Are
Screw
we
it
all
all.
listening?
Let's just
Work
have,
environment.
All listening? I
Yeah,
am.
why not?
let's just have fun. Isn't it
Throw
supposed
away
to
the
be?
composition.
Isn't it supposed to be fun?
Improvisation.
I think it's supposed to be fun. But what does fun mean?
But do you want more structure or do you want less structure?
Can
You
you
need to make up your
scream
mind now.
if you want to scream in improvisation?
That's just if you're on.
Okay.
Flow. It's always flow. Always comes back to flow.
Mechanics of interacting. Packages of data being exchanged. What do I understand and what do I not understand? What do I misinterpret
Such a sense of
and
possibility.
uncomprehend?
So much possibility.
It's impossible to comprehend everything.
Unity versus dissolution. Temporality versus comprehension.
Hey. 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 What? Hey.
For the next piece, can we turn the house lights off completely so we're in the dark? And we begin with a moment of complete silence. Thank you. That concludes the first half of our program. We're going to take a short break.
Welcome back to the second set of the Resistor concert here on the 7th of March at Worm. And the FEM FEST is rolling still until tomorrow. But for now, I would briefly like to introduce you to the players of tonight, who have already done the first set, but now going to do a second one. I will just go clockwise. I'll start with Lucija Gregov. She plays the cello. And Ginger on the drums. Johanna Molina on various instruments. Suzana Laşcu on her one-string instrument and her obz, sorry. Marty, Ydema, vocal processors, as far as I have been able to distinguish. Tisa, Neža, Herlec on voice. And Linhuei Chen on various instruments. And of course, Johanna Monk on clarinet. So, Johanna, I heard you wanted to say something about the second set.
Yes, just a quick recap of, and also a little further specification of what you're going to be hearing in the second part. So these are, again, workshop pieces. The first piece, which is quite long, which goes through three cycles, is inspired. It's actually not a workshop piece that was directly by Eddie Privot, but it is, to the best of my recollection, vaguely inspired by things that we did in a workshop, Vanita and I, that we did with him literally 20 years ago. So it's hazy, but I do remember that it was something like this. So that will be the first half, approximately, of the second set. After that, we will be performing again a piece somewhat inspired by ideas by Pauline Oliveros, but it's not one of her pieces. And again, it's to the best of, in this case, Marty's recollection. Marty was the one who introduced, suggested that we also do this piece. And after that, we have, as I said before, we end the set with a finale in which there are no more guidelines, no more pieces, no more historical references, no more compositions, no more composers, just us.
Great, looking forward to it.
So that will be the second set. Thank you.
Okay, enjoy. watching Resistor in concert. And thank you all for the great performance. I invite you all to celebrate International Women's Day tomorrow. I invite you to celebrate sound and freedom of sound and music. And I hope this has inspired you to do that. May I also recommend to you, there's an online panel tomorrow night, also streamed from this space. It's about female leadership in times of crisis. And that will be the last event of the FEM FEST 2021. Thank you all, and thanks for watching.